Yo, did she really say that?
No, I think she did.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another Queens Review. This is season 1, episode 7, entitled Who Shot Ya? And that's loosely based off Biggie's song Who Shot Ya, if you didn't know. Just a little hip hop information I'm giving out, you feel me? So the show opens up with first of all, if this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is and what it always will be. Now we're about to just get into this thing. Now, when the show opens up, the ladies are at a photo shoot and they're taking pictures for their tour photos. And they're, deciding which one is going to go on the billboards to promote this world tour that they're going on. So Eric catches Bree and Naomi talking. And he tells them to make sure that Jill shows up to the press conference on time as if they are her guardians or something. But I do understand where he was coming from because we all know that Jill, the thrill, has been on one these past few episodes. So I get it. So, Naomi is all giddy and she's smiling. And, it kind of takes Bree and Eric by pause because this is not normally her character. So Eric was like, she was like, what? And he was like, what, you smiling? And she was basically telling him, well, we are at a photo shoot and that is something that we are obligated to do. So he was like, okay. I said, Eric, I'm going to need you not to rear jealousy. Okay. You don't need to be jealous. You and Naomi have been over for years. Your daughter is 20 years old. However old she is, don't do that. Don't do that. So Jill was like, I keep saying Jill. So Bree was like, who are you texting? Who got you all, all like this? And she was like, nobody. And so we find out that it is Rodrigo with his sexy. That man is fine. Okay. So we find out that it's Rodrigo and Naomi is nervous. And it's kind of interesting to see her character like this because she's normally the one who is completely sure, tell it like it is. But obviously, when it comes to her romantic life, she's not as confident in that area. So we find out that she's never been on a real first date. She had whatever she had with Eric, but she thinks about her life in the romantic realm as not being normal. And in actuality, it really wasn't. She talks about having JoJo when she was 21. She's been basically on the road since she was 18 years old, and she doesn't view her life as normal. And when it comes to Rodrigo, she feels that he's normal. So Bree is willing to do anything that it takes for Naomi not to sabotage this opportunity. So they go and try to pick out some clothes for her date. And so, Bree is kind of like, why didn't you tell me about you and Eric back in the day? And she kind of made like a sound like disgusting. And so she was like, look at how you acting like right now while asking the question. And so Bree is kind of like, well, asking her, did she ever think that they could get back together and possibly have a family? And Naomi was like, look, I agreed to go on a date. Like, let's get through this. You know what I'm saying? So now I think it's interesting to mention that Bree feels as though Naomi has raised JoJo by herself this whole time. But as the audience, we know that JoJo was raised by Naomi's mother. So I'm not too sure what all Naomi has expressed to her friends when it comes to her daughter. But I thought it was interesting that Bree made that sentiment. So Bree found Naomi something to wear, and she found her something to wear. And she was like, yeah, I will be chaperoning this date. And I was like, this is going to be funny. So when they leave out, Eric asked Naomi, what is she carrying? And she was like, Muffin was like, oh, she has a date. And you instantly saw this look on Eric's face. And I was like, is he really jealous? Like, does he really have genuine emotions for Naomi? And see, when it comes to Eric, I do like his character, but I don't trust him all the way fully just yet. Almost, but not quite. And it's just like, him and Naomi were so toxic back in the day. I really don't see, I hope they don't write it for them to go back to each other because I really want to see her explore this new opportunity with sexy ass Rodrigo. He's just, and you know what? Brandy looks so beautiful in this episode. Not that she doesn't every episode, but it's like, I can't even believe my dog is 42 years old. She looks absolutely stunning to me. So while Bree and Naomi were talking, Naomi was trying to figure out where did Jill leave off to. So we find out that Jill is in the studio with Wyclef. Now, let me just say, I thoroughly enjoyed Notori portraying Jill the Thrill. And I absolutely adore the fact that Notori actually can rap. At least to me. I think that song she did when she was in the booth, she has this, ever since she played Lil' Kim, she really has like this natural flow. And I know she's from New Jersey. It just fits her. Like, I wouldn't be mad if she decided to release, you know what I'm saying, a rap album. It's music. You could play with it. I wouldn't be mad at it. I would actually support it. But, you know, so she comes out the booth and Wyclef was like, that's a hit. I know a hit when I hear a hit. I'm like, shut up. But anyway, he wants to produce a solo album with Jill. And, you know, she's kind of looking like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know. We all know, like I said earlier, that Jill has been on one. So we really do not know where her mind is when it comes to her role in Queens and her role in the group and what is it that she really wants to do. But overall, we find out that, you know, Jill, she declines it. She declines a solo album with Wyclef because, you know, her and the girls are about to go on tour. And when they come off tour, they are going to record their first album in 20 years. So she declines it. I was actually surprised that she did it, but not really, because Tina did get in her ass. But we'll come back to that in a moment. So Valeria wants to find out why her mom was taking pictures of her credit card. So this lady, I didn't believe not a word. And if y'all have been listening, those who have been listening, I have not trusted this lady from the moment she came into the picture. And so I just found her excuse about why she took the picture. It was so bogus. I was in your trailer and your purse fell, your wallet fell, your cards came out. And I didn't even know those cards actually existed. So I had to take a picture. I just couldn't believe it. I said, we are in the year of 2021. Valeria. And it's so interesting. And I think it really goes to showing Valeria's case. You could be street smart and you could be a hustler and all of that, but we all have a weakness when it comes to certain aspects of our heartstrings. And this lady, you know, was playing on that for the most part. But I'm like, I never trusted this chick. And definitely when she gave that excuse, I definitely didn't trust her. And I mean, not at all. So, Muffin, y'all. First of all, I didn't know so many people actually eat noodles like that. But they actually crunch them up, put the seasoning on there, and they eat them. And I was like, I have never heard of that in my life. I've never tried it. But obviously, after watching Tuesday night episode of Queens, that is actually a thing. So when I saw Muffin doing that, I was like, what the hell is she doing? And the funniest thing to me was when she, you know, fixed it how she wanted to fix it. And then she was like, you know, she crunching. And then she was like, as if it was actually good. And for whatever reason, that tickled me. But we find out that Eric actually borrowed the money. I think it was like $750,000 or somewhere up there. That Eric borrowed the money from Jadakiss. And I'm thinking, why would you borrow the money from him when y'all already don't like each other? Y'all already have a beef or an issue from back in the day. Why are the two of you? Why did you go to him? Of all people, why did you go to him? But anyway, that's what he did. And so basically, Eric did not have the money to pay back the loan. So Jadakiss was not feeling it. And he gave him to that night to come up with his money. So we get to the press conference and Jill is late and she wants to tell the girls the truth about, you know, why she's late. You know, she wanted to do Wyclef wanted to do an album with her. She declined it. She did do a song with him is what she wanted to do. And she just wanted to be honest with the girls. They really didn't care. It was like, let's just go do this, you know, press conference and, you know, get it out the way. And so Eric tells them, you know, y'all go in there. Don't let them divide you. And I was like, well, what he mean by that? Well, we found out. So when they get into the conference, all of the questions are being directed towards Jill when it comes to her love life, when it comes to what she's doing, almost as if the other girls don't exist. Now, I said, now, wait a minute. I do understand that Jill has had some sort of glow up since she came out and all of that. But I'm like, how did she become the star of the group? Like, I would still think that even though Jill is on this incline, that Naomi and Bree will still be the two most popular women in the group. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird, but okay, that's what they want us to go with. Then, you know, that's what we shall go with. So Bree comes in to save the day about, these are more than just my group member. These are my sisters. These are my friends. And they have held me up during the most difficult time in my life. And she basically put everybody together. And then they came for Muffin because it's like, well, if you never really would have used their song, these women wouldn't be here now. And how do you feel about opening up for them instead of being the headliner? And she was just like, do better. And I said, there we go, Muffin. Thank you, Lauren. Don't let them, put no craziness in your ear. So I like how they handled that entire situation. So Jill and Tina, I was like, Tina, I wasn't expecting Tina to go off like she did. And my thing was, it wasn't like she was really lying. But that whole spitting situation, I was like, Tina, this is how I feel. When someone, the great Maya Angelou, who's one of my favorite people in the world, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Jill has already showed you who she is, Tina. She's obviously someone that you do not want to deal with. Sis, let it go. Because the truth be told, Tina didn't have a problem being the other woman. Tina didn't have a problem messing with Jill while she was married. And it amazes me how these side pieces feel like they have some type of loyalty now that you're the main. How? Was Jill wrong? Hell yeah, she was wrong. But I'm like, Tina, y'all have to play your position. That's not what you are. And don't ever think that what they did to the previous, they won't do to you. And that's exactly what happened. But I do think Tina was a little off the rocker a little bit. And I was like, I'm eyeing you, sis. I'm eyeing you because I don't think Tina would, or I'm not going to say have it in her because everybody has it in them to do something when they've been pushed to their max. But I don't believe that Tina is the one who pulled the trigger and shot anybody. But her behavior was a little off-putting for me. So we get to Naomi and her date. And so as her and Bree are walking up to the restaurant, you could tell something happened with Bree and she could not do it. She couldn't go in, but she was, telling Naomi, you can do it. You look great. Just be chill. Basically, just be yourself. So Naomi walks in and Rodrigo, he's so beautiful. That is a fine man. That is a fine man. And so basically on their date, Naomi lets him know that dating is not her thing. And he lets her know dating isn't his thing either. And he was like, but getting to know interested people is my thing. And they have great chemistry. And, she was just like, basically, let's just cut the chase. I think you look good. You think I look good. Let's just get to the part that we both know we want this date to go in. And I loved his response because he was just like, basically as tempting as that sound, no, I'm not going to let you get off the hook that easy. We're not going to do that. That's too easy. And you don't strike me as the type who like things that are easy. You like things that are a little bit challenging and uncomfortable because that's how you are with your music, right? And she was like, yeah. And I think that really intrigued her because we already know that he is a fan of her music, not just Queen's, but just of her music. And I think that really does mean something to her, especially now that Naomi is trying to get out of the shadows of explicit lyrics. She wants people to enjoy Naomi and Naomi's music outside of, being the rapper. So I thought that was cute. She goes in the bathroom and she calls Bree. And Bree was like, I don't have no condoms. And she was like, what? But basically, Bree knew that she was trying to sabotage the date because she was like, everything was going well. We were flirting. And then he starts asking me questions like he's trying to get to know me for real. And Bree sort of, reassured her like, hey, it's nothing wrong with you liking him. It's nothing wrong with you exploring this aspect. And Naomi was like, she hates dating because it delays sex. And I love that Bree told her, you can get sex anywhere, but making a connection that's rare. And that is what you need right now. So at the end of the date, she thanked him for dinner. They shared a kiss and they were going to extend their night because he didn't want the night to end. And Bree just started sending Naomi these texts about how much she misses Jeff. That's where they had their first date. That's where they spent every anniversary after. And so she went to Bree's house and basically just to comfort her during that time because that's just, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. So I enjoyed the fact that all the girls came over to be her support system during that time. So we see that they're all eating Doritos. Somebody dropped the bag. When they dropped the bag, they found that note that Jeff had gave Bree before his surgery. And once she did everything that she was supposed to do, it was a video. And basically he was just telling her to live her life and do what makes her happy, and how apologetic he was for what he, the pain that he brought to their marriage. And when he saw her perform at the BET Awards, it just really showed him how much she sacrificed for him and their family. And he just wanted her to be happy, whatever that meant. And that he wanted her to show their children where they went for their honeymoon, and, to grow up with animals, and to grow up with, animals instead of TV, books instead of television. But, just let them go there and let them know how much I love them. And it was emotional. All the women were crying. I sort of may have became misty just a little bit, but no tears fell. But it was a really sweet moment, and I'm glad that they all shared that together. So basically, we get to Muffin, and Muffin wanted to help Eric in some kind of way. So she was telling him about this rich guy who wanted her to do this private party, and I think he was gonna pay her like $200 and something thousand just to come. And so they go, and the dude was a real jackass. He wanted her to do coke. He was like, "Oh, you really think I'm about to pay you just to come and take a few selfies? I want the whole Muffin experience." And Muffin was, you could tell she was conflicted, because, she recently out of rehab, you know what I'm saying? And just to be around that type of environment, that is the recipe for falling back into old habits. So I was glad that she was strong enough not to do it. And her and Eric ended up walking out, and, he apologized for basically even having her go to the party in the first place. Because I was like, Eric, I understand you need the money, and I do understand that Muffin is trying to be, trying to help you, but not for the sake of her sobriety. I just thought that was Eric, like I said, I don't trust him all the way, and I do like his character, but he just makes questionable decisions all the time. That's why I really don't, trust him that much. Because even with JoJo, I'm like, how the hell you take your daughter into a dangerous situation with somebody who don't like you and you don't like him? And even though she was happy to meet Jadakiss, still, why would you bring your daughter in that? Why would you share a drink with your daughter? It was just, Eric, he just needs some, parental classes or something, because he's just not good. I said, poor Muffin, Jesus Christ. At least you're not homeless. But I don't think Eric is the best, house for her to be staying at, because he just don't get it. But anyway, so we see that Valeria, they find out that old girl is really not Valeria's mom. They go over her rap sheet. She's done so much fraud. And so before she gets home, Eric tells her, look, don't do anything. Me and my homie, we working on the plan to get this woman out of your life safely, because you don't know what she will do once she finds out that her cover has been blown. Did Valeria listen? Hell no. So Valeria goes home and basically calls the woman out. And the woman is like, you know what? I'll go pack. I'll leave. And then Valeria grabs her because she wants to know her real mom. Like, does this woman know her real mom? And baby, when I tell you this woman flipped quicker than a damn done pancake, baby, she was like, first of all, I'm looking at this woman and I'm looking at Valeria. I said, Valeria, for you to be so street and hood as you claim to be, sis, you ain't try to defend yourself. This woman had her pinned up on the wall with her hand on Valeria's neck. Excuse me? You didn't punch, you didn't something. This woman in your house, she been eating your food, watching your TV, running up your bill set, girl. Man, it would have been, that is one moment where I would not have mind destroying some aspects of my house, because I got to put hands on you. So basically, this woman was telling her, I know your mom. How do you think I was able to pull this off? And I know that your mother would never reach out to you because she doesn't want anything to do to you. I saw my chance, took my shot, and I failed. But she did end up giving Valeria her mother's name. And basically, she was like, you're not going to call the police because you already know what I am capable of doing. I said, well, damn, she kind of got a point. So The woman is following Valeria. She sees Valeria coming out of the police department. I said, but that don't necessarily mean that she was telling on the woman. But I'm sure that's what she thinks. And the woman has a gun. Now, I know many people think that it is homegirl who is the shooter, but I don't think so, because I'm gonna post a picture right now that shows this is a black person. I don't know if this is a black woman. I don't know if this is a black man. I was trying to look at it and see if it was Darren, which is Jill's ex-husband, but I can't tell for sure. But this is somebody black. And so I'm like, were they trying? So they go out to the billboard to look at the tour, a picture that was chosen to promote this tour. So while they're there, Eric comes. Now, it didn't show it in this particular episode, but we know when he originally comes up on the women that he's all blooded and bruised. And Bree was like, "What the hell happened to you?" So that's when the person comes up and they shoot Eric in the shoulder, because he was like, "I'm gonna get you your money." But I'm like, I don't think this is about money. I really don't. I don't know what this is about. This could be someone who we don't know, someone we least expect. But I'm just like, nah, something ain't right by this. So they shoot him, and then they go into this mirage of, little clips with the women when they're showing them it together in their sisterhood and prayer and things of that nature. So when Eric was like, they got away, I let them get away. So when he turns around, you already know that one of these women were shot. And come to find out, it was Bree who got shot in the chest. And I said, God, this was probably the best episode of the season to me. And I kind of figured it was gonna be Bree, because we all know that Eve is pregnant. For those who don't know, Eve is pregnant. And I believe her baby is due in February, I believe. And so she's going to be out of the picture for a while. And I know that Remy Ma is going to be, she has been added to the cast. I don't know what her particular role is going to be, but she's been added to the cast. And so I was just like, Lord, it still touched me. It still touched me, even though I know she was going to be leaving the show for a while. But this was an amazing episode. It really was. I am looking forward to seeing these characters become like well-rounded individuals, where we see more of their personal life in addition to them, on this quest of becoming new artists again in this day and time with social media and all of that. This was a great episode. I'm looking forward to next Tuesday night's episode. Thank you guys for listening. Until next time, y'all be safe out there. One.